Hello, my name is Darrell Robert Schoon, and I am here with Reverend Betty Tatalajski. The reason why we have this backdrop today, the gold stars,
Isn't that beautiful?
this is our 100th show of Steps Beyond Time.
Amazing.
It is amazing. And these shows have basically been built around what I call Betty's stories. And Betty's stories are so outrageous, they make me look like a normal person.
That's hard to do.
It's hard to do. And I love this because her travels and her studies really have been extraordinary. When I began my study of metaphysics back in the 1960s, this just shows one of the things with her. We were having lunch an hour ago, and she made some remark about the Alice A. Bailey books, all right, and how she had fallen in love with it again. They've just entranced her. Well, for those of you who don't know about the books, or for those of you who do, I ran across these books probably in 1967, and when I began exploring alternate views of reality, and these were the deepest metaphysical books I had ever run across in my life. And I remember there was a series of them, they were channeled, and I remember that the foreword said, I am a Tibetan. My name is Dewal Kuhl. Don't believe these if they don't resonate with you. Just pass them by. But if they do resonate with you, or what he calls by the law of correspondence, you find truth in these words, then basically ponder on them. All right? I go, oh, I can buy that. You're not telling me to, believe this wholeheartedly. So I turn the page, and I start reading, and it was like, what? I couldn't understand it. It was so deep. It was so esoteric that I stopped reading. I did. And I've read a lot. I have read a lot. And when I come to Tucson, and I ran into the Temple of Universality, I met Reverend Betty Tatalajski here, and another minister at the church, Reverend Inga Mason, and Christine Fassetti, and they had sets of Alice A. Bailey books. Sets. And so when Betty, within the last hour, just is musing aloud, she says, you know what? I just picked up one of those blue books again, and I've fallen in love with it again. Folks, I want to tell you, I still have trouble reading those books. And that's why her stories and her experience and her point of view are really so valuable in these times, which are uncertain to all of us as we make them through. But there is light here. Sometimes we can't see it, but there is. And here we go with the 100th show of Steps Beyond Time.
Hello, friends. It's lovely always to be with you. But I really can't believe it either that it's been 100 because I remember the first one that I was so, I wouldn't say shy, I would say shocked that I was going to be doing because I thought, well, what do I have to talk about? And so I kind of wonder that every time, 100 of them.
That's like a rich man saying, I can't afford that.
Yeah.
what am I going to talk about?
Yeah, then what am I going to talk about? After the first one, and which was 4 years ago right now, and I have become addicted to you and to the opportunity to share what I perceive to be the mystical, magical world of spirit. And after a while, we do become so we feel that it's an assumption that everybody is doing what we're doing. And when you find out they're not, you want them to do what you're doing, and you want them to have fun. So they're at the Temple of Universality, which is a result, I guess, it would be of the interest and the magic of what we call the blue books and the travel. In 79, when I was told that I was going to found a new world thought, not a religion, that's what people assume it is, but it's a new world consciousness. And the center will be built, and some of you, see, there are no coincidences, there are no accidents, and if you happen to turn the knob on your TV and you see the show, well, honey, you might catch it, okay? Or we might catch you, because there are no coincidences. Spirit has said if there were such a thing, all the world that runs by law would implode. And so all of us being a part of cosmic law are surprised at where we find ourselves sometimes, don't we? And so I found myself in a little spiritualist church, a tiny little place, unbelievable actually. I was sent there on an assignment to interview some what they call spiritualists, which meant they spoke to dead folks. And so I thought that was ridiculous, or at least a comedy. But it caught me around the ankle, and something grabbed me, and I've been held a prisoner of love and of metaphysics and of spirituality and people like you since 1979. And in that process, in that interim of time, I have traveled to over...
Before you say that, that year, Betty was told by these spirits that she should take her Course in Miracles class that she'd been facilitating back to Camp Chesterfield in Indiana,
yes.
which was a spiritualist community. Now, Betty had been born into a very strict Southern Baptist family.
Yes.
And then married a Roman Catholic that she thought she was going to convert to Southern Baptist, all right? And she fell in love with Catholicism. And so she's had this background of an interest in religion and God and spirituality, but it did no way, she thought, prepare her for what happened in 1979 when she was told she was going to form this thought, which is universalism. All right? Universalism. And they told her when she was back at Camp Chesterfield, they told her in what we call seances, all right, that as a part of this, she would travel the world, study all religions and all philosophies. One of which was, we've spoken of earlier, were the Blue Books by Alice A. Bailey. But now, she was about to say how many countries she's been to. Now, Betty, at the time, you had been to Japan, but you grew up in Kentucky and basically lived in the United States.
Traveled a few countries like other folks.
Yes, but how many countries have you gone to?
120 on one particular peace mission, and 42 since 2003, which is strictly Middle East Peace Initiative, what we call the MEPI peace sessions. So there have been a lot of traveling, and
so the words came true.
The words came true, and who knew?
Who knew?
And what I love about working with the spirit world and the great ones, I call them, the planetary observers and planetary movers and shakers, including Jesus the Christ and his mother, and a lot of other beautiful folks like that, is that what I love is I need do nothing. Now, that would be an inducement for me, because I'm kind of a lazy girl, and so all of this has been, as I was telling my friends earlier at coffee this morning, I said, who knew? After all the struggle that you go through, like a caterpillar coming out of that thing, and find out I need do nothing except Jesus, like Jesus said, except love and serve the Lord. and that the kingdom of heaven.
I knew
is
there was a
with-
catch.
Yeah. You're gonna serve somebody, right? Well, that's what he said. The kingdom of heaven is within you, and love is the way to get there. So it's really not a push and shove thing.
Yeah.
It's just listen to the words and love. And then he says, ask and it shall be given. Knock and the door will be open. Seek and you shall find. So it's 3 letters, ASK. And it works, folks. Who knew that? It's a simple thing that we were given. Ask and it shall be given. And so that has been the royal path that I've been walking on, and blessed by the best with the most. And everybody is entitled. This is what I love, is that there is not a group or a person who is not invited to
Yes.
to this world, this golden world and golden stars that we live in. Now, I'm thinking right now, the stars are so beautiful. Can you believe that we've sat here and done this 100 times? When I remember the first one, and I thought, I have nothing to say, but I've been saying it for 4 years, okay? Now, this beautiful gold star, there are no coincidences, there are no accidents. Spirit says if the world was not formulated by law, all things would implode. So I'm thinking about the gold stars, and one of the first spirit people that I've met was Gold Star. And when Hoyt was here, our great friend, the great phenomena medium, I was given in my hand by Spirit a gold star, a beautiful big one, okay? So there are no coincidences that we are surrounded by gold stars. It's lovely. But there have been many of these incidences, each with purpose. I don't just go and look at the people and shake their hand and listen to just conferences, but my experience with it, my divine mission that I love, is what happens at the conferences that really don't seem to have anything to do with the conference
yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
But for me, on a personal level, there are always experiences, incidents, people, incredible people that I get to interact with. Now, Spirit knows who they are before I ever even get there. I'm clueless, and Spirit has a plan. And as long as I don't get in the way, I get to experience all these things,
How do you do that, Betty? I know.
I think they call it dumbfounded.
That's right.
Because I always am. And it is so lovely. And so today I wanted to talk about, Daryl, it's been almost a year since I was in the Middle East.
Yeah.
At the Peace Conference in Jordan and in Israel. This was a woman's one. There are American Clergy Leadership. There's World Federation for World Peace, Women's Federation for World Peace that I went to North Korea with. And so we have good intention, and we have prayer, and we have loving hearts. And to me, that's really worked out better than long confrontations with folks, trying to get them to agree with you on some point.
Hammering out an agenda.
And I have no agenda.
Yeah.
Now, those great ones in the spirit world, what we call my MEPI truth people, they influence the minds of the people here on the earth plane who are the centers and directors of these MEPI peace conferences. Well, I have on tape, just actually pretty recently, these great ones who are there and who are telling them, when they're going to have the next one, what they're going to do, what countries we're going to. It's simple for me. I just ask them where we're going and when we're going, And the great ones in charge, they send me paper and yeah, that's what they said, So anyway, last May when I went to the MEPI in the women's portion of MEPI in Jordan, it was so lovely. And I told you at that time when I came back how I had met these many Japanese women from Hiroshima. There were 2 buses of them. And I told you how I had met some of them very personally because this Japanese man kept saying to me, I want to talk to Mitsuko. And I was on the train, the bus, with a busload of Japanese, and there was another bus. So the Japanese woman who was sitting with me, I told her, I said, where is Mitsuko? Because her daddy wants to talk to her from Spirit World. Remember
no. Folks, when Betty says, this man says, I want to talk to Mitsuko, she's saying she's hearing this voice, okay, from the other side. And truly, to them, there is no other side. There's one place, and
sure.
We're in the world of visible phenomena. Sure. They're in the world of spirit.
No difference.
All right? But we who are in the world of visible phenomena cannot apprehend the world of spirit.
Well, it's like the woman. What man? And where's your dad?
Where's your dad? What's he saying?
Where is he?
Yeah,
He's not on the bus. This is just women on the bus.
Yeah, and you go to one of them and say, where's Mitsuko? She goes, why?
She's sitting, and this woman I'm talking to is right here. Well, where is he talking to you from?
Yeah, she's looking for this man you're talking about.
I said, well, he's in the spirit world.
That's right. All right.
Remember that one?
You know what? I don't know this lady, but she probably thought, she's Japanese?
Yeah, Japanese.
She probably in her mind went, boy, these white people are sure crazy.
Anyway, when we stopped at the restaurant, the woman was on the other bus. They found Mitsuko.
Mitsuko. She was on the other bus.
She was on the
and you
other
had no
bus.
idea, none at all.
Her daddy was just asking
Yeah.
And so for the next few days in the conference there in Jordan, Mitsuko's daddy wanted to hug her and give her messages, And the final one, of course, was before I left. He says, I want to hug her again. And Mitsuko has told me to tell her that, I'm with your wife. She thinks I'm there sometime. Tell her I am. And I will be here when she comes over, which won't be soon, but I love her very much. So when I left Jordan and went on to Jerusalem and Palestine, I have this same experience, but these beautiful Azerbaijan women were there. Now, I had not met people from Azerbaijan. I've met a lot of people from Kurdistan, Uzbekistan, and all of these former Russian countries that were, until 1918, were a part of the Russian conquest.
USSR, yeah.
Yeah, USSR. But I had not met Azerbaijan women, and there were 25 of them, and they are lovely, lovely women. And they, as I was telling him, some of them carried French purses. They all spoke English. They love Azerbaijan. They gave me loaned me a book of their country, and they're so proud of it. And I would love to go visit them. And so I wondered how I was going to get to meet them. I didn't want to go up to them and say, hey, I'm from Tucson,
Yeah.
but I wanted to spend some time with them. And so it was almost the last day of the conference, and I had been with them, but I hadn't really got to
Interact. Yeah.
with them. And so a friend of mine from Virginia Beach at the Edgar Cayce Center, plus other places I know her from around the world, and she said, she comes and finds me regular, Betty, Reverend Betty. She says, one of the Azerbaijan women is sobbing. She's having a meltdown. You got to come. And I thought, wonder what, I'm not a nurse. I wonder what I'm going to do, you know. I'll just cry with her.
Offer a
Have
handkerchief.
crying jag. Women like to do that, you know. And so I go with her, and there are this group, and they have her sitting on like a high bench, and she's just sobbing. She's got a broken heart. And so I'm standing there looking at her. Well, her daddy ain't talking to me,
Yeah,
okay?
that's right.
Nobody says anything to me.
You're not getting anything.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
watching her like they are,
Yeah.
you know, and she's having a meltdown. So Spirit, you know, says to me, now tell her she's supposed to be an artist. She has that real divine discontent that you had one time for years, and she's so depressed because she doesn't have any
Expressing.
self-worth,
Yeah.
okay? You tell her she's supposed to be an artist because she's been an artist before. So I'm looking at the woman, and I said, you like to paint? And she was numb.
Yeah.
She hadn't painted. I said, you're an artist. You've been an artist before. Your soul is crying out for you to do paintings for the world. And she's staring at me, you know. And I said, you like art, don't you? Yeah, I do. And sobbing, okay? I said, well, you are an artist. And so when you go home, you can buy the paints and buy the, what do you call here? And you can paint, can't you? And she goes, never painted a thing just like me. No painting since first grade, you know. And all of a sudden she's calming down, and she's looking forward to doing the
that,
painting.
yeah.
I love art, she said, but I didn't know I could paint. I said, well, all those beautiful spirit people around you are saying that you have and you will, and your life is going to be such a blossom, and all these folks around here are just going to love you because you're going to be a celebrity. Because those folks around you just told me that. You never know folks, do you? We think we know the people beside us or the ones we see pass on the street. We don't. Each of us is a separate soul in a long path that will never end of spiritual existence. Sometimes we go back into spirit and take a break, you know, from this mission, and then we'll get another assignment. But isn't it incredible? We know that you will never die. It is not possible. Some people are so saddened that they would like to go and be gone forever, but it's not possible. You will at some time be speaking to God in your heart, and He will bring you back so that you can help the world again. And we'd like to welcome you to be a part of the building of the first Universalist Center in America with us, the Temple of Universality. We look forward to meeting you. God bless you.